when I grew up listening to music, there's songs in my life that when I heard them for the first time, you know, like I cried when I listened to a certain song, and like it just completely hit me right in the right time, right moment. And to think that those moments have been created, with our music is just, it's a really cool feeling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
What if I fall?
Kyle, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna say finally, after years and years of singles and EPs, the debut album is finally here as we're talking. We're just a few days away. You only release a debut album once in a band's career, so let's get straight to the point. How excited are you right now?
Yeah, we're on cloud nine. Life is pretty cool right now. Yeah, first album ever, full length. As an independent band, we've been playing shows, since 2016, and it's been a slow build to kind of get to this point. So it's really exciting to see all the years of all the money we had to put into it with recording a bunch of singles or EPs or whatever it is. Like that's all we could do with our budgets, right? Our day jobs. So to have a team like Fearless Records come alongside us and really see the vision that we have, and to be able to do it on this massive of a scale is it's the dream, dude. It really is. It's a great opportunity for us to just show everyone what we're all about. We're coming out swinging. It's gonna be huge.
Now, you already mentioned it. Together with Fearless Records, there's a team around you that you probably didn't think was gonna happen a couple of years ago, and we'll get to that in just a second. But if we look at some of the singles that has been released, the What If I Fail video, which deals with a lot of things, but it deals a lot with anxiety and induced by imposter syndrome almost. So that fear of failure, or that fear of what if people figure out I may be not as good as they think I am, is that then also a feeling that is raging through you now, when it's like, first debut album, but hey, it's with Fearless Records and a ton of pros are involved. Is that also happening?
Yeah, I mean, it really that's funny you mentioned. I mean, really, What If I Fall was one of the first songs we wrote going into this album. And it was obviously in context of the signing with Fearless Records, and we had released Undertow as a single with them as our kind of announcement, and hey, we're on board, let's get this. But I mean, it dives headfirst into all that. Just the imposter syndrome. Dude, I'm a freaking my word, I tell them, we're a bunch of bozos, dude. We're just like I don't know, every once in a while I just kind of like, my brain will reset and I'll just be like, yo, what are we doing, guys? Like, this is so weird. Like, this is like, we joke about this stuff. We'd be, practicing back in like 2017 and be like, you throw out all these random labels like, oh yeah, we'll get signed by blank and blank, or we'll get signed by that. And, we're just joking about it. None of us are, serious, but it was just kind of cool to, we kind of have to remind ourselves pretty frequently, and especially with all the things that have been happening. I mean, obviously the album, that's huge for us. We have a massive tour with Veritooth and Trivium and Malevolence, which is like, dude, these guys are legends. Like, these guys are like doing what we aspire to do, and they want us to be a part of that. So life is it's pretty cool. We've hit a lot of mountaintop experiences already, and this album isn't even out, so we're just like, dude, what else is there left? It's just been so good so far. So we're stoked.
What if I fail and let down everyone who trusted me? What is holding?
Before we move on from What If I Fail, a cool thing to realize then when you release this song and you allow yourself to be vulnerable and you share it with the world is, I'm sure, I mean, almost everybody says, oh, I don't read comments on my own videos, but everybody really does. And exactly, right? But then you see that you know, fans were commenting like crazy on that song, and I'm sure that you've also had in-person, you know, fan feedback by now as well, where people are reacting with, "Wow, that hits home," or it gives me goosebumps because I feel like this song was written for me, you know, like stuff like that. That realization that everybody's dealing with these things, and once you allow yourself to be more vulnerable, you instantaneously create a more strong connection with the fans. Is that a key takeaway for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been kind of a style of our band and the lyrics we write and what we do. It's weird because naturally in person, I'm a pretty like non-conflict kind of guy. Like, I enjoy being around people. If people get heated, like, I'm the one to insert myself, and like I'll put a joke in the middle of it just to completely like, let's simmer down. Let's, you know, like I usually hate, you know, conflict. If say a restaurant gets my order wrong, I'm just like, nah, it's cool, I'll eat it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, that's just like how I am. Like, I don't, you know, I'm a little picky when it comes to music. Maybe that's the one thing I've learned how to to care. I care a lot about that. But yeah, it's just it's cool to see how our music has become, like, people genuinely like subscribe to it. They genuinely like believe in the words that we say, and like some of that for me and for us as a band is like, dude, that's like, you know, you don't want to downplay it and be like, well, that's like weird. That's like, why would they be like, you know? But it's also like, it's just such a cool thing to see that there's people who like actually want everything to be a part of what we're doing. Right. And whether it's through the lyrics, we've had fans that have sent us photos of their tattoos with, you know, lyrics that I wrote. Like, I'm just like, it's just such a cool, you know, there's a lot of validation you get from that. And obviously, you know, we have to be careful because we can't just base our value in what, you know, what our fans think, or, you know, anyone thinks of us. You know, we're pretty confident in who we are and what we do. But I think for us to be able to, you know, have an avenue for us to share those insecurities, to share those, you know, things that we deal with, and to have people that are like, yeah, like 100% I feel that too. Like, you can't replace that. Like, we need people in our lives to share those things with. And I think it's cool that we get to use our platform to, you know, shine a light on those things and to actually help bring people along with us through processing a lot of different emotions. When I grew up listening to music, there's songs in my life that when I heard them for the first time, you know, like I cried when I listened to a certain song, and like it just completely hit me right in the right time, right moment. And to think that those moments have been created, you know, with our music is just, it's a really cool feeling to know that people really care that much about what we're doing. So awesome. I'm stoked to see how far this album goes with that, and just really helping people keep moving forward with that.
Awesome. Now, thanks for sharing that. The people that know you guys a little better, or know you a little better, will know that there's a good chance that the songs that made you cry as a teenager because you connected with them are Linkin Park songs. And I think I remember from a backstage Aftershock Festival interview that, you know, you guys kind of envisioned of carrying on that torch that Linkin Park created, with bringing different styles together and building a bridge between poppy and heavy worlds. I think you even, I don't know if it was you or if it was your drummer that said, you know, we should just mix Linkin Park with blast beats. No blast beats on this record yet, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, we can squash that dream of Tyler's. Maybe he'll write a song about his struggle with not being able to do blast beats. We'll work on that one.
It should, and like an acoustic ballad or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. The irony.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that being said, I mean, the singles that have been released so far are maybe a little bit more have that poppy influence a little bit more than some other songs, and it almost, like, I had a chance to listen to the full album, and it kind of feels like you kind of take us on a journey where let's call it the the most catchy or the most, you know, easy to get into songs as maybe the popular listener are very much in the first half of the record, and then once you guys play Suffocate Me, it just kind of blows open, and you bring in some more energy as well. Was it kind of like a bit of an idea, like, hey, we got a little bit the calmer half, and then we've got the energy half on that record?
Yes. So as far as the album went, it really wasn't the only true like concept, if you want to go with that, about our album is, I think it was pretty clear early on that we wanted to really embody our name and who we are, and to establish that. And the idea of taking, and you kind of see it a little bit more in the kind of that middle section of the album,
Right.
kind of middle to late section, where we really take what we do in rock and metal and we combine it, we collide these genres with, there's kind of a straight pop song, if you want to call it, almost like a Chainsmokers, Justin Bieber, I don't know, like, and like that was, for us, like that was our moment to like, hey, let's have some fun and write something completely different that we don't do. And like, what's really cool is like we're so excited with how that song turned out, and it's like so much fun. I'm like, dude, and like every song on this album, and there's another track, Destiny. It's like a very heavy but very straightforward, like it's almost got some Muse, some almost like, what's the word, theatrical, like Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco, kind of has like that, like really just rock infused like style, which I mean, we just love being able to go that avenue. And then of course you see, you know, what we love to do, which is, you know, pretty standard metalcore, whatever you want to call it, like Parasite, Suffocate Me. I mean, you think of Counterfeit, or I mean, there's so many songs that on there are just like really just straight down the pipe. This is what we love to do. But I think it's cool for the first time as a band, because it's a full album, we had room to, you know, experiment, but also to, you know, we had the time and ability to like do something different, but also put all of, you know, everything we got into it to make it just as good as, you know, our standard songs that we write. And so that's what I think the best part about this album is that it really does embody the name of combining different, you know, genre archetypes and kind of pulling that together. But I think these songs, you know, you think of people like experimenting and it's like, oh, it's dangerous, people aren't going to like it, whatever. And it's like, no, like, I love metal, I love rock, and I love this whole pop song we did. And I love, you know, Destiny, and I love, you know, these other tracks. Like every single song is like, dude, they're sick. Like we love them. And so that's what's exciting is, you know, we didn't experiment at the cost of having a song that people might not like. It was like, no, like it still slaps, like it's still good, like we love this stuff. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to have a full album of songs that you genuinely believe in and are like, yeah, like these could all be singles. Like literally any of these songs you could be like, hey, this could have been a first single, or, you know, instead of What If I Fall, we could have done this song, or, you know, instead of Parasite, we could have done this. And it's like every song is going to hit, and that's what's really exciting. That's what's got us a lot of excitement going into this album. It's like, dude, I'm excited to see what other songs like people really do catch on to, because I feel like it's going to be a straight up battlefield. Like between all these other songs on this album, like it's going to be like, okay, which one's going to pop up? Like which one are people going to love? And I think that's it's a really exciting feeling for us. It's it'll be cool to see how this plays out.
No matter how many mountains that I climb, I always feel so cold.
The metal community seems to be more open-minded today, and maybe it's also because it's a new generation that has come in. Do you think you could have made this album and gotten the same momentum in 2016, let alone 2014 when you guys got started? Or did that shift in attitude towards positivity had to happen in the last few years for people to truly embrace a record like this?
You know, what's interesting is I would very much consider myself, you know, a part of that like metal rock community, and so I've been in it as well, like seeing how things have shifted from, you know, even like 2010 to, you 2014, you have that like Warped Tour era, and then you have post Warped Tour of all these things going on, and obviously the COVID era. I think what's interesting is like it really has shifted a lot, but I think it's cool because like people, when we grow up, we kind of develop a little bit more diverse taste, and we have more, we're more open to listening to different styles, and whether it be pop music, and
we care maybe a little bit less about what other people think of us as well.
Yeah, essentially, like there's not as much as like what's the word? I want to call it like a tribalism, like this kind of like gang mentality of like, hey, I just want to be, like I just want to listen to what I like. And like there's almost like people support that where it's like, hey, I'm really into like the new Paramore album. It's like straight, I don't know, like 70s rock. Like I can't even explain it. Like it's so different. It's not hard rock. It's not like Riot. It's not like even their last album. Like it's different. But like I think people take pride in the fact that it is different.
Right.
People like that. Like if you're intentionally different and kind of push the envelope, I think a lot of metal fans and rock fans have come to appreciate that and be like, hey, this is really cool. I think one of the biggest ones in our genre, Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, they've done a collab with Ed Sheeran. They've completely broken every barrier down between the metal and pop industry, which I think for everyone else in the metal rock industry is like, hey, the door's open. Let's do whatever we want, And so I think there's been a lot of bands that have kind of broken that down over time, and it's kind of come together where people have that, solidarity between genres. And I think at the end of the day, people just want to listen to what they enjoy, and nobody really cares anymore, if people think I'm weird for listening to this, because I think it's sick that it's weird. A lot of people are just more unapologetic about what they listen to, and I think that's even a genre in itself, right? Of just listening to certain styles of music that just like kind of make people go, yeah, what the heck? Parasite. Yeah, our whole album is infused with that style. So I think the metal community, the rock community is going to love it. It's going to be, there's a song for everyone. Even my mom, which I love, she's not a headbanger. She's not going to go out there like, yeah, whatever. But like, I've got some tracks on there that I know, like, dang, my mom and her friends are going to love this one. And so like, it's just a good feeling to know like, hey, we're going to hit every single style. And that's because that's what we do. That's what we love to do. And so I'm stoked. It's going to be awesome.
And the good thing is, the generation of your parents, they actually can afford going to shows and buying merch. So fantastic.
Yo, I'm not. Now you get into the metrics of it. No, for real. It's really cool because it tends to. I think this is like the one genre. There's a few other ones, but like rock metal has like a really good way of pulling together people from like the teens all the way up to like 40s, 50s, 60s, and you go to these like massive festivals like Aftershock and stuff, and literally you can like see one completely different person that grew up in a totally different time period, and right next to them is someone else and they grew up like 40 years apart. Like, where else are you gonna see that? Like, that's such a cool thing about this community that we have is like there are no barriers. Like, if you like the music and you want to jam and you want to headbang, like, hey, you're my people,
There you go. You go.
I think it's really cool how we can kind of bring those communities together, and you see it. You really do. It's a cool thing.
Awesome. Now that community is going to come together, obviously, on this crazy tour that you're going to do with Trivium and Beartooth Malevolence. But before you go on that tour, you've got some acoustic stuff coming up as well. So maybe to wrap us up, because we were joking earlier, like, hey, maybe we should get like an acoustic ballad about the fact that you guys refuse to play blast beats, but
maybe next time.
What exactly? What can we expect from these acoustic shows? Are you guys gonna bring some of those more aggressive songs as well in a funky new way? Like, what can we expect?
Yeah, so that's something that we have the opportunity with this tour is there are certain, with the scheduling, where we have some off days, or we have the availability to do some more shows outside of our standard production of just big loud guitars, drums, and screaming vocals. And so what's really fun is I've said it before, but really, my favorite part about music and in general is the creation of it and writing it and the songwriting process and putting together songs. And so for me, for us as a band, to be able to take a song like Parasite and be like, okay, let's strip this thing down to its bare minimum of like what it is and the melodies, the chords that we play, and the structure of it. And what's really cool is so many of these songs, because not to, you know, like they're written pretty damn well. Like we're stoked about it, right? And so what's cool is they strip down to acoustic like so well. And even if it's not crazy riffs and like big drums, like the singability of all these songs is like, I don't know how it's working so well, but it does. And you wouldn't think it would with, you know, how heavy some of these songs are. But I mean, songs like Parasite and obviously What If I Fall is somewhat of a ballad. So like that strips down to acoustic like no other. Like It's perfect. And so we've already been messing around with some of that, rehearsing some of this stuff. And we have, just to plug it, we have an acoustic show that we're playing locally. We're from Arizona, so we're playing a local acoustic show for our album release on the 31st. And then throughout the tour, we'll actually be making some stops between cities to play some acoustic shows as well. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be so much fun, like reinventing these songs, but also just getting to the core of like what they are at the basics. I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to do. So, yeah, they're pretty sweet. They're pretty sweet acoustic.
Kyle, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of good energy, clearly, and exciting times for the band. I know that you are right now in a position that you could never have imagined a few years ago, but wait until you see where you are in a year from now after this tour and this album fully being launched. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And I wish you guys all the best with first to release the acoustic shows and then bringing all people together from different generations at the shows. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.